Welcome to Super Showdowns, the ultimate destination for epic battles and legendary showdowns. Join us as we put iconic superheroes, villains, and mythological figures against each other in a thrilling matches of strength, strategy, and skill. The stars flickered uneasily as if the void itself trembled. Across the cold, unfeeling expanse of the cosmos, a black tide slithered through the infinite. It was not merely darkness, it was Knull. The ancient god of the abyss drifted effortlessly through the void, his crimson eyes burning with malevolent purpose. He had witnessed the birth of the universe and sought nothing less than to return it to the nothingness from which it came. With his Necrosword in hand and an army of symbiotic horrors riding behind him, he had already torn through pantheons, crushed celestial beings, and twisted creation itself into his own perverse image. And yet, something new had risen. A ripple in the divine fabric of existence. It was not heaven. It was not hell. It was something far greater. Knull turned his gaze toward the disturbance, his lips curling into a sneer. From the depths of a realm untouched by the void, a being stood at the crossroads of reality itself. God spawned. The battlefield was chosen long before either combatant arrived. A forgotten world, one that had barely survived Knull's conquests. The surface was littered with the corpses of fallen warriors. Some human, some alien, many divine. The skies bled with swirling storms of black lightning, the very essence of Knull's will. From a distant horizon, a crimson fissure tore through the sky. It was not fire. It was not energy. It was something more. Then he arrived. God spawned. His cape billowed like a living entity, shifting in impossible patterns that defied space and time. His armor, etched with the knowledge of both heaven and hell, pulsed with necroplasmic energy. His eyes, two endless voids of green fire, locked onto Knull in expressionless glare. Knull exhaled, almost in amusement. So, this is what the gods have conjured? His voice slithered through the air like oil over water, a new puppet to dance in their eternal war. Spawn did not reply. He merely stepped forward, each movement rippling through the ground like an earthquake. Knull chuckled. Come now, child of chains. I have slaughtered gods greater than you. Celestial sky fathers, elder gods. You are but another fragment waiting to be returned to the abyss. God Spawn's voice was a whisper yet held the force of 1,000 storms. You are mistaken. Knull's smirk faltered for a mere second. He had expected bravado, defiance, perhaps even arrogance. But there was something different in this one's voice, something ancient, something absolute. Knull lifted his hand and the shadows screamed. Symbiotic tendrils coiled and slithered, forming monstrous abominations that howled and surged toward God Spawn. And yet, before they could touch him, they stopped. No, they did not stop. They disintegrated. With mere thought, Spawn willed their existence away. Knull narrowed his eyes, gripping the all-black, the Necrosword, and feeling its hunger gnaw at him. Interesting, he mused. You are not like the others. God Spawn finally moved. It was not an attack. It was not a challenge. It was judgment. A ripple in reality erupted outward as God Spawn raised his hand. And for the first time in eons, Knull felt something he had long forgotten. Uncertainty. Lightning, but not of the heavens, erupted from the air itself. The very concept of energy obeyed Spawn command. His cape expanded, folding into infinite layers of cosmic material.
Hey you, don't just watch. Subscribe please.
Space itself bent as a battlefield was no longer just a world. It was all worlds at once. Knull's grip tightened. Let us see what your power truly means. The Necrosword ignited, a blade that had slain celestials and torn holes through reality. Knull lunged, cutting through the very fabric of existence, only to find his blade stopped. Not blocked, not parried. Stopped, as if the very laws of physics rejected his attack. God Spawn looked at Knull, his expression unreadable. You are not the first to challenge creation. His voice was calm, absolute. Knull snarled, pulling back and striking again, this time with all the force of collapsing multiverse. The ground beneath them shattered into floating islands of cosmic ruin, torn apart by the sheer magnitude of the attack. And yet, Spawn remained unmoved. Knull's fury ignited. The darkness itself expanded, his will overpowering reality as tendrils of abyssal horror wrapped around Spawn's frame, seeking to drag him into the endless void of nothingness. Then Spawn spoke, and the void itself recoiled. A single whisper, a command that was neither spoken nor written, but merely willed into existence. The tendrils of darkness shattered, the Necrosword's glow flickered, and Knull, for the first time in his immortal life, felt the presence of something greater than himself. God Spawn stepped forward, closing the distance without moving. The very concept of space realigned to his will. Knull's crimson eyes burned. You think yourself a god, do you? God Spawn finally stopped. For the first time, he tilted his head, as if contemplating something. Then, with a voice that sent shivers across the very fabric of the cosmos, he uttered 3 words. I am beyond. The heavens trembled, the void screamed, and Knull's grin finally disappeared. The true battle was about to begin. The battlefield had transcended mortal comprehension. What was once a single, desolate world had expanded into an infinite, shifting battleground where time, space, and reality bled into one another. A war between 2 supreme entities was about to reach its crescendo. Knull, the god of the void, gripped all black, the Necrosword, his eldritch energy pulsing with pure oblivion. He had slain pantheons, torn apart cosmic entities, and brought ruin to civilizations long before the first stars ever burned. God Spawn, the divine entity of necroplasm, stood unwavering. He had absorbed the forces of both heaven and hell, evolving into something beyond even the gods. His form pulsed with untold power, necrotic energy that twisted and reshaped existence itself. Then they moved, a single instant stretched into eternity as the gods collided. Knull swung first, a diagonal cut from the Necrosword so powerful the fabric of reality tore apart, creating an infinite black maw in space that devoured everything in its path. The blade had slain celestials and deities alike, capable of sundering divine beings from existence. Spawn blocked it with his bare hand. The impact sent shockwaves across a multiverse. Suns collapsed into black holes. Entire timelines splintered, and the echoes of their battle shook the very foundation of creation. Knull's eyes widened. Impossible. Spawn's fingers gripped the Necrosword's blade, necroplasmic fire surging around his palm. With a surge of strength, he twisted, snapping the blade in half. Knull recoiled in pain as all black, a weapon forged from his very essence, shrieked and shattered into countless shards of black void. Spawn wasted no time. With a thought, he unleashed hellfire, a blaze so powerful that it burned with the wrath of every soul he had ever judged. The fire wrapped around Knull, searing his eldritch form, defying his very nature. Knull screamed, but his agony turned into rage. From his very being, darkness poured out, reforming into endless symbiote abominations, blackened monstrosities, each the size of a planet, surged forward, their countless teeth and claws reaching for Spawn. Spawn responded in kind. He raised his hand, and from the depths of his power, chains of divine judgment erupted. These were no ordinary chains. They were forged from the laws of reality itself, unbreakable, unyielding. They shot out in every direction, piercing through Knull's abominations like divine spears. The symbiotes shrieked as they were unmade, their very existence erased by Spawn's will. Knull, undeterred, lunged forward, his fists crackling with the raw energy of the void. He struck Spawn, his blows powerful enough to shatter dimensions. Each punch sent ripples across the cosmos, rupturing galaxies and bending time itself. Spawn staggered, but he did not fall. Instead, he opened his eyes, and for the first time, he let go of all restraints. The cape of God Spawn expanded, morphing into tendrils of infinite energy, each one striking Knull like a celestial hammer. The sheer force of the assault drove Knull through dimensions, his form crashing through layers of existence. Knull roared in fury, summoning the abyss itself. A great black wave surged forth, seeking to drown Spawn in eternal nothingness. This was Knull's ultimate attack, the very concept of non-existence, consuming all in its path. But Spawn stepped forward. His eyes burned with emerald fire as he raised both hands. With a deafening boom, divine light erupted outward, pushing back the abyss itself. It was neither heaven nor hell. It was something greater, something beyond. It was Spawn's were made manifest. The light clashed against the abyss, and for the first time in eternity, Knull's darkness began to falter. No! Knull hissed, his form crackling, breaking apart. I am the void. I am. Spawn did not let him finish. He closed his fist, and with it he closed Knull's fate. A final shockwave shattered the battlefield as Knull's body erupted into nothingness. His very essence, the embodiment of darkness, was torn apart, erased from existence. The god of the void was no more. The universe held its breath. The remnants of Knull's darkness dissolved, leaving behind only the silent stars. The symbiotes that once plagued the cosmos fell lifeless, their connection to their master severed forever. God Spawn stood amidst the ruins of their battle, his form still wreathed in divine fire. He exhaled, allowing his power to settle, his aura slowly fading into a more restrained state. With a final glance toward the empty void where Knull had once stood, Spawn turned and vanished into the fabric of existence, leaving behind nothing but legend. The war was over, and God Spawn had won. In the end, Knull, despite his immense power, was ultimately no match for a being beyond heaven and hell, beyond time and space, beyond the very laws of existence. This was not just a victory. This was a judgment.